Now I'm going to show you a bit more about pivot tables. It's extremely simple. First thing, I want to be in my data and highlight my data. I go to Insert, Pivot Table, from Table Range, and the table range that I've highlighted show in my dialog box. So select table range, that's the data that I've just highlighted. And now I want to choose where I want to place my pivot table. So I click on Existing Worksheet, and I click on Location, and I click where I want it. So I want my pivot table to be here in A3. Okay, so I've clicked there, and I'll click on OK. So I get this thing here. I don't know what to call it. So I've got a field list on the side, and all my column headings show here ID, date of sales, date, and here ID, date of sales, state, and those stuff. Okay, so now I want to see sales in dollars. So I click sales in dollars, and I want to see by state. Okay, so it takes my sales in dollars and divides it up in state. But now I want to see for every year what was my sales for every state. So I want to also click in the date of sale. So now the computer gives me date of sale, and now I can see for every state, I can see for that year, 1995, so much was made in that state. But now, you see, this is absolutely wonderful. It's fantastic. Okay, so, but now I don't like it so much. I actually want to see state as subordinate to the years. Okay, so when I click there, I can see quarters. Now, I don't want to see quarters because now what happened to my state? So I'm going to take quarters off, okay, and I'm going to take months to the columns, like I've shown you before, okay, and I'm going to just collapse on the California, and you see, this is absolutely wonderful. Now I can see for that year, 1995, for every month, that is what I made in every state. And here as well. So what I've done in this one is I've clicked on the date of sale and then on the state as well. But I've made sure that for the year, where the computer gives me year and quarter and month, I took the year, I removed the quarter, and I put the months in the columns so that I don't have too much data. So I've got year showing on the rows, and I've got months showing on the columns, and below it I've got the state. Okay, if I want to make the state subordinate to the or more important than the years, I drag it up. You see, now it's above here in my rows column. It's above. Now I've got California for every month, and I can open it to see my years. You see, and there is that. So it's just to show you how to move the column headings up and down on the right hand side in this row box. Now it doesn't matter what you do, because it just depends what you want to see, because you can drag and drop the things around until you like what you see. So it depends who you're reporting to, what's more important, the state and then the years, or the years and then the state. So if I drag it back again, I'm going to put year above the state, okay? I put year above the state, and now I get year totals. And if I want to see the state, I've got to open the year. Okay, I don't want to see every day individually, it's too much, okay, because what if I had millions of rows, okay? So, and there I can see for every year, that's what I made in every state, and for that year, what I've made in that state. So I'm going to show you else. Okay, what if I don't want the months? So I'm going to drag the months, and this is quite a nice pivot table for every year. It simply gives me, now because I've dragged the year and the quarter off from my columns here, I can put them back on by ticking in this pivot table fields list, because my computer is very clever. It made those fields for me, even though I don't specifically have them in my table. Because in my table I've got a date, okay? But in this field box I've got month and year and quarter. I can bring them back, but I've dragged them off because it's too much information, okay? So now I've got year and state. So once again I can drag the state to the top, and I have to open to see my year information. But let's say I didn't want that. Let's say I wanted year in the columns. Okay, so now what I have, I've got California, Oregon, and Washington, and I've got the 2 years, 1995, 1996, across in the columns. Okay, or I can swap it around. I can say, well, bring my state back, and then drag the states. So now I've got my states on columns. So for 1995, California did that, Oregon did that, Washington did that. So that's what you can do as well. So it's just playing around with the dates. It's extremely simple. So you've got to just understand a pivot table. Once you've got the pivot table, you can amend it the way you like by dragging and dropping from rows to columns or from columns to rows, and you can move something up and down. So if I bring my state down here, then my state is below the year, okay? But if I bring my state above the year, then my years, I've got to expand to see the years because my states is more important than the years because I've got state at the top and then secondly I've got years. And I can drag things from the rows to the columns and back. That's all I wanted you to know, and it's a good idea to just practice as much as you like. Doesn't matter what your pivot table does, the data is still the same. That grand total stays the same, okay? Let's prove it. Okay, let's see. Okay, I want the months back. Okay, so now I've got the months. I'm going to put the months here in the columns. Okay, can you see that even though I've got lots of data, my grand total is still the same. It's 3-2 something. Okay, so take the dates off. I've still got 3-2 something. So it doesn't matter what you do, the computer still knows how to add. It's very simple. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that.